With the NFL season heating up, the pressure is mounting for some head coaches. Today we're going to be breaking down some of the coaches who are feeling the heat and whose jobs might be on the line. Will they turn things around, or is it too late? Let's dive in. Before we get started, make sure you guys are subscribed and like this video just because it helps me out. At 10, I got Kevin Stefanski. Despite winning Coach of the Year just last season and in 2020, he finds himself in a tough spot. The Browns are coming off a disaster 1-3 start, and their offense is struggling mightily, averaging just 150 yards passing per game. A big part of that issue has been Deshaun Watson, who Kevin Stefanski was instrumental in trading for despite his off-the-field controversy. Watson currently ranks 31st in QBR with a dismal 23.7 rating. With these offensive struggles and the weight of the Deshaun Watson trade hanging over him, Stefanski's future in Cleveland looks shaky. While he's an established head coach, if these things don't turn around soon, the Browns might decide it's time to move on from him and Watson and rebuild for the future. At 9, I got Zach Taylor. Taylor may have led the Bengals to the Super Bowl in 2022, but there's a growing concern that the success may have been due to a fluke. With Joe Burrow now being paid top QB money, the expectations are now sky high, yet Taylor's record in the first 2 games of the season is a staggering 1-11. This year, they've already lost to teams like the Commanders and the Patriots. If things don't turn around quickly, Taylor could be on the chopping block. A major issue with Taylor's tenure is that the Bengals never blew anyone out, even during the Super Bowl run. It was all due to last-second heroics like the Derek Carr interception, Evan McPherson making a clutch field goal, or Mahomes throwing an overtime interception. Taylor's hiring was largely based on his connection with Sean McVay, despite not calling plays for the Rams as offensive coordinator. If he can't bounce back and guide this team to the playoffs, the Bengals may have no choice but to move on. At 8, I got Sean Payton. He was brought in to turn things around for the Broncos, especially with Russell Wilson under center. Despite Wilson putting up respectable numbers in his second year with the Broncos, the wins just weren't coming. This isn't helped by the fact that the Broncos receivers are largely the same player, all being about 6'3" and running a 4.6, and they don't really have a run game to lean on. To make matters worse, Payton handpicked Bo Nix, and Nix continues to struggle. Combine that with the fact that the team is relying on fluke wins from missed field goals, Payton could find himself in the hot seat. And let's be honest, if Payton can't deliver, he might not even be good enough for Walmart, because, unlike Payton, Walmart prides itself on quality and consistency, something Payton seems to be missing right now. At 7, I got Johnathan Gannon. It is only his second season with the Cardinals, but things are already looking shaky. After a 4-13 season in his first year, the defense continues to be its glaring weakness, allowing a brutal 27 points per game this season. The team is 1-3, and despite the offensive talent on this roster, the defense keeps letting them down. Gannon's defensive struggles aren't new, though. His questionable play calling was one of the reasons why the Eagles fell short of the Super Bowl when he was their offensive coordinator. If the Cardinals want to take advantage of their offensive weapons, they may need a complete overhaul on the defensive side, including Gannon. With the right offensive-minded head coach, this team could make a playoff push next season, but it's looking more and more like Gannon is not the answer. At 6, I got Mike McCarthy. He has always had success in the regular season, but his struggles have came in the playoffs. The Cowboys have consistently fallen short, often making early exits that just simply won't cut it for the franchise with such high expectations. McCarthy is consistently under scrutiny, with rumors of his job security swirling around year after year, especially considering the loss to a 7th seed, getting dominated by the Packers and Jordan Love, only adds to the pressure. Entering year 5, McCarthy faces immense expectations, and many believe that if the Cowboys don't make a deep playoff run, Jerry Jones won't hesitate to make a leadership change. At 5, I got Brian Dabol. He might be the best head coach on this list by a large margin, especially considering what he has to work with. His exceptional play calling even secured Daniel Jones a hefty $40 million per year contract, but now Dabol is stuck managing the fallout of that decision. The Giants are currently 1-3 and at the bottom of the NFC East, averaging just a terrible 15 points per game. Although he won Coach of the Year just 2 seasons ago, the struggles for the Giants could lead him to being the odd man out. Expectations soared as they were able to upset the Vikings in the playoffs in 2022. But with Jones' regression into turnover-prone play, Dabol's future is the question. With an estimated salary of just $2 to $4 million, the Giants could easily move on from the final 2 years of his contract. Unless Dabol can turn Daniel Jones back into a reliable starter and help the Giants finish above 500, they may join the ranks of teams searching for a new head coach in a competitive NFC East. At 4, I got Robert Saleh. Now, he entered the season with sky-high expectations for the Jets, especially with Aaron Rodgers leading a stacked roster. The goal was clear: make the postseason, especially with Rodgers likely retiring after the season. Unfortunately, before this season, he only had 4 snaps with Rodgers, which was mainly the reason why he got his 4th season. Despite the setbacks, the Jets looked like a playoff team early on, until their Week 4 matchup against the Denver Broncos. This was an inexcusable loss to the Broncos, who dropped them back to 500. The Jets' defense did its job holding Bo Nix to just 60 passing yards, but the offense looked completely unprepared, and Saleh's leadership came into question. The 13 penalties committed by the Jets added to the frustration, reflecting poorly on Robert Saleh's ability to keep his team disciplined. If the issues continue, it could jeopardize Saleh's future with the Jets. At 3, I got Matt Eberflus. He's arguably the worst coach in football right now, and it's puzzling why the Bears didn't reset with Caleb Williams, but Eberflus and GM Ryan Poles may have been on the same page. I fear Eberflus isn't the right guy to maximize Williams' potential. With a quarterback like Williams coming out of USC, every success and failure Chicago will do will be under the microscope, and it's hard to see Eberflus surviving this. The pressure is mounting, especially with the Minnesota Vikings starting strong, and the Packers and Lions already being Super Bowl contenders. Meanwhile, the Fields has been shining in Pittsburgh, boasting a 3-1 record with 6 touchdowns and just 1 interception. Considering Jay Cutler has been the best quarterback in Bears history, it's crucial for that franchise to bring in an offensive-minded coach to help develop Caleb Williams. If they can do that, Williams has potential to be the best quarterback in Bears history. However, with Eberflus at the helm, the transformation seems very unlikely. At 2, I got Nick Seriani. He is facing serious scrutiny, holding a disappointing 3-9 record in the last 12 games. The Eagles went from a promising 10-1 to finishing 11-6 and having an early playoff exit against a Buccaneers team that just wasn't that good. Hurts has struggled with turnovers, throwing 4 interceptions and losing 3 fumbles, all while facing competent pressure. 13 sacks in just 4 games. His numbers with 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions are alarming for a quarterback who was just signed to a $255 million contract. The Eagles have a bye week in Week 5, having them a chance to regroup and get healthy. However, Seriani cannot afford more losses, especially the performance they had in Week 4, no showing against Tampa Bay, if he hopes to keep his job in Philadelphia. And at number 1, no shock to anybody, it's Doug Peterson. They're in a very tough spot, especially with Trevor Lawrence struggling after resetting the quarterback market. The team is now 0-4 and has lost 3 winnable games and suffered an embarrassing blowout. With owner Shad Khan heavily investing and expecting immediately results, this season was supposed to be a win-now campaign, following the Jags' playoff run in 2022. The Jaguars are not meant to be the underdogs they were last season. They were supposed to be contenders, especially after finishing 2022 with a 9-8 record and making the playoffs. This season was expected to be the turning point, but it feels like they've been pretending all along. Peterson's seat continues to get hotter by the week, and reports of a fractured relationship between him and the general manager, Trent Baalke. The pressure is mounting. However, Peterson has weathered storms before. He believes that the position is secure, but unless the Jaguars turn things around, that confidence could quickly evaporate. Who do you think will survive? And who do you think will be on their way out? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more NFL insights. See you next time.